the darting stage like a colossus, strutting his stuff. And so was Mr. Mason, of course.
He had worse shirts than I did back in the day, let's have it right.
They weren't great.
He had some shockers.
A lot of variation in the shirts and a lot of variation back when you guys were playing in the kind of tournaments that you played in. Now, you know, the darting public now is used to a very narrow range of what you can expect from a tournament.
I think
the formats are obviously much longer now, especially with not just the Opens but TV, but we used to play best of 5 in all the Opens. We used to go to North America and play best of 3, 301, double in, bull up.
Brilliant.
And that's not just round the corner.
I actually travelled with Eric and we went out there and we were practicing. We never even talked about it. It wasn't even... I don't know why we didn't speak about it. and I got there and we used to obviously support each other, and I was called onto board 12 or something. So up I go and shake the guy's hand, 6 practice darts, and like 4 minutes later he was like that, thanks very much.
You've flown across the Atlantic for 4 minutes work.
I've flown halfway around the world, and I literally threw the guy played phenomenal. He went out in something like 9 and 12.
It was on the American circuit's main games, so that's why it was obviously the North American Open over there. And because it was on our ranking list, we had to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to. We had no choice. We had to go to these events.
Yeah.
I mean, we went everywhere in America and Canada, and if it used to cost you £1,000, and if you broke even, you had a great weekend.
Yeah. By the way, a little detail in that story was rooming with Eric Bristow. That's probably worth a book in its own right, isn't it?
Yeah, I could write Double Jeopardy in our pants on a Thursday afternoon with a can of beer. Yeah, that was.
Well, the first time I shared a room with Eric, we actually had a £10 bet on these 2 flies going up to the top of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Because that's what Eric's like. It's all the time.
Honestly, quiz shows.
Can you remember the outcome?
Oh, lost.
Quiz shows.
It reminded me of it as well.
You tended to lose against Eric, I should imagine.
Yeah, on anything you do.
On anything.
Pool, table tennis. I mean, he was like...
Ultra competitive, isn't he?
When you grew up, I mean, he was my idol. I looked up to him like massively, and
he was a superstar.
He was like he was
the transcended just the dance
Kevin
world,
Keegan or the Pele or whatever. I mean, he made, for me, without Eric, I don't think we'd be here. We'd be in a hotel on a Wednesday afternoon in the middle of America, and he'd be sat there with his fags, and we were watching TV, and I'd be looking, going, "This is ridiculous.
What's going on here?
Is this real?" You know, like when we used to play in America, 8 o'clock in the morning, this is no lies, 8 o'clock in the morning, we'd all meet in Lowy or Lazaranco's hotel room. And
we'd be there really early and we'd just reminisce for an hour about stuff that's happened that we've done.
Just chatting away.
And then somebody'd go, Keith would go, what time we go? And then we'd all go down to the
like 9:30, we were down at the venue. But for that 1 hour, it was priceless. To be amongst, like, the...
Everybody walked out the room with a big
kings.
smile on the face because it was just so funny.
Do you think that they resonated with the British public because they were what they said, what was written on the tin was what was inside?
Absolutely, and all of them were very similar. I mean, Jockey was just nuts. He was absolutely nuts, but he was such a lovable lad because he was very quiet, and all of a sudden he was like a volcano. He really was. He was just...
Could you see it coming, or did it just...
Not all the time, no. Him and Eric had this, thing for years, and they actually loved each other to death. They really did. But it was great for everybody else to see the rivalry and the pushing, and one day he kicked him on the shin as they were walking on stage, and Eric hobbled on, and all little things like that. It was just so funny, and he got Big Cliff. What a lovely man he is, entertainment, socialising. They just loved going out. They loved the game, they loved travelling, having a good time, and that's what it was all about.
Having a pint.
Really.
I mean, these guys would, it was culture, it was part and parcel.
Well, it was 88 when it was outlawed on TV. So they were brought up in all that era. I kind of missed that.
Yeah.
So I was used to it, but they weren't, because it was just all part of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, great. I mean, I love looking back. I love looking back. People say you should never look back, but in the world of darts, just for the fashion and the hairstyles, that's one thing. And that's just Alan. It was.
I had a few dodgy barnets, but I wouldn't go too far.
Yeah, all right, yeah, we'll leave that.
Dear. Darts may be back in fashion, but it hasn't conquered fashion as current outfits prove.
Sorry, I just caught an image of that.
Yeah. Here's a quick question before we go. Is darts better now, or was it better then?
Standard, obviously better now. Equipment better. As much fun? No.
Not for the players. No, we had a scream. We had a scream. Travelled all over the world, working class lads. You know, it was a great laugh. I mean, there's a lot more money involved in it now, and it's far more professional.
You're the poacher turned gamekeeper, aren't you? You're the one that makes the rules, keeps them in line now, having been a bad boy for all them years.
Well, they have to listen to me, otherwise I'll have a right go to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, living the dream. It was awesome to be part of it. Obviously, it's great to still be part of it in the PDPA and ITV and everything else. It's an incredible story, really, from where darts has been and where it is now.
I suppose with the money comes the responsibility for the current crop.
Well, yeah, and it's the amount of airtime the players are getting, and it is our responsibility to make it as clean as possible.
Sell the sport.
And sell the sport, which is what I think we do very well.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Chris
Thank you.
and Alan, thank you very much. Hopefully see you in the autumn in Belgium, which is our next starting event. But upcoming sports